If you've ever watched one of my book mail hauls and wondered how I or other booktubers and reviewers get free books before they're released, this video is for you. In today's video, I'm giving you my tried and true methods on how exactly I get both finished and early copies, also known as ARCs, advanced reader copies, and ALCs, advanced listener copies from publishers. Whether you're brand new to reviewing or just getting into it, I'm here with 4 concrete methods that I still use to this day. Hi everyone, it's Atia here at Booking It with Atia, and I've been reviewing books for close to 9 years now across YouTube, Instagram, and other platforms such as the Storygraph and Goodreads. And I've been reviewing early copies since 2019, and I received my first physical ARCs in 2020. I'll put a thumbnail of some of my early reviews of those ARCs. And everything that I'm sharing is based on my real experience, and I know that it works. And the proof isn't just in the pudding, it's literally on my channel. Speaking of, make sure you check out my latest book haul, which is someplace. I put a card and you'll see the thumbnail here. I do have somewhat of a script here, which is why you're going to see me looking down in this video, because I didn't realize just how many pots I had my hands in, if you will. And so I had to organize it, and that's what we're doing here now in a hopefully succinct video. So method number 1 is going to be NetGalley and similar platforms. If you've been here for the past month, you know that I am a co-host of NetGalley November, and you kind of like know what NetGalley is, or you're participating in NetGalley. And I just want to talk about NetGalley. This isn't sponsored. We're not an affiliate. I'm not an affiliate, but this is the main way. Well, this is one of the main ways that I get advanced reader copies. So jumping right in, method number 1, NetGalley, is the easiest entry point, and it's also the first way in which I acquired e-arcs, and that is of course NetGalley. NetGalley is a website where you can request digital arcs, all called e-arcs, and audiobooks called ALCs directly from publishers. They are they are the middleman, if you will, and publishers can either approve or deny your request, and that's based on a variety of factors that change depending on the publisher. And in exchange, you read the book eventually and give feedback on it through the NetGalley website. Some things to remember with NetGalley that I find personally help me is to make your profile useful and enticing. Where do you post your reviews? Do you post it on your blog? Do you post it on Bookstagram, BookTok, Goodreads, Storygraph? Just put that information there. What genres interest you the most? And what's your book-related social media? Make it super easy and super accessible. Also, use the read now or read listen sections to help get the ball rolling. These are books where the publisher does not have to approve your request. They're simply there for the taking. This helps you get some reviews under your belt and then also start to build that feedback ratio. Declines happen. They suck. They do. Especially when it's like a book you're really, really anticipating. But don't let that stop you. Just keep reading, keep reviewing. Publishers, I found, notice consistency, and a publisher that maybe previously was wary or denied a request for you might see in the future that you're serious about reading and reviewing titles. That in turn may manifest into a future approval later on down the line. Also, a little note, I talked about NetGalley, but there's also other platforms that work similarly, like Eldwise, Booksprout, and Voracious Reader. I don't use those yet, but I am wanting to do more research. They are on my radar. I just need to that'll be a 2026 Atia thing to do. Method number 2, publisher connections and influencer programs. There are 4 main categories in this, I guess, sub methods, if you will. Ooh, and not me moving the camera. The first one is going to be yearly application programs. The second is ongoing mailing lists or reviewer networks. The third is PR and blog tour companies. And the fourth is the Libro FM ALC program. So starting with yearly application programs, some publishers such as Penguin Teen or HarperCollins or Berkeley Romance have official influencer programs that open once a year. And actually, as I'm filming this, this is mid-November. I believe Berkeley's program is about to open up. I think they open up in December, like late November, early December, I think. So just, put that in the back of your mind. These are more competitive, and they're usually looking for reviewers who post consistently and fit their genre focus or create content for their target audience. So like if you're a reviewer who only reviews, I don't know, literary historical fiction, right? And there's not a whiff of romance on any of your review pages or your social media, Berkeley Romance might not want to add you to the list because it just makes sense, right? So don't just like apply to be applying. Also, with some of them, once you're accepted, that's it. You are essentially on the list forever. Others, such as Berkeley Romance, right? Tricky one, make you reapply each year. So 1 year you might be in the program and the next year you're not, but then the year after that you make it in the program again. It all depends on the structure of the program, how many people apply, blah, 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 all these different things. If you don't get in 1 year for all of them, just apply the next year. There are a lot of factors that go into it, and it's not all about your follower or subscriber count. Growth and consistency are going to be key here. And just like full disclosure, right now I am in I believe it's the Berkeley Romance program for 2025. I was not in it for 2024, but I was in it for 2023 and I applied in 2024. So it really is like up to their discretion and their numbers and the applicant pool. Next up is mailing list or reviewer networks. This is going to be that second category in method 2, and this is a little bit more accessible. Other publishers such as Orbit, Saga Press, and Tor keep these ongoing mailing lists or reviewer signups open all year. The way you find these links to apply is by checking out their website, newsletters, or their social media accounts, or even if you like end up emailing someone and for like one particular book and they might just say like, I'm just gonna put you on this list, that might also happen as well. And we'll get to emailing in a bit. There's usually a page on their website that is dedicated to influencers, especially in the past like 3 or 4 years. A lot more of them are doing that. And it has useful information and an FAQ. Once you're on a list, you'll start getting emails about upcoming titles or ARC requests. In my experience, being on the list automatically grants you access to the NetGalley copy via a widget or a link that they provide in the email. On top of the NetGalley copy, you can also request a physical book via a form, whether that's an advanced reader's copy or even a finished copy of the book closer to the date. Then we have PR and blog tour companies. These are companies such as TLC Book Tours or Here Are Voices Tours that are separate from publishers, and they partner with a multitude of publishers and authors to organize social media tours where reviewers get early copies, either digital, audio, or physical, in exchange for posting reviews, features, videos, or other content during a set timeline, usually like a week to 2 weeks. By signing up with these companies, you're sent emails whenever a tour is available, and you sign up for those that interest you. The parameters for what these companies require are going to vary, so you're just gonna have to like do your research. And a lot of these PR and blog tour companies have a heavy social media presence, so you'll probably find the most useful information on their social media. Then we have the Libro FM ALC program, which is audiobook specific. This method is a little different from the other 3, but still a valid way to get access to early and free copies of audiobooks. If you love audiobooks, don't sleep on the Libro FM ALC program. Like, don't do it. This is a program for audiobook lovers that allows you to access a monthly selection of advanced listening copies in exchange for honest reviews on your social media. I think I found out about this either late 2024 or late 2023. And I applied, I forget which booktuber mentioned it, maybe Ashley at Bookish Realm. And I mean, it's great. It's honestly great. And they have a lot of like upcoming and new releases, hot releases, anticipated releases. And it's free. And they open applications a few times a year for creators and reviewers of all sizes, no matter your audience. The main takeaway for this method of mailing list and influencer programs is to keep a close eye on social media or do some digging. Follow your favorite publishers, which I always recommend because like that's also how you find out about new books. Research those PR and blog tour companies and check out the Libra FM website so you don't miss those application announcements. Method number 3, which is probably the scariest one, and that is emailing publishers directly. This sounds scary, and not gonna lie, it was and kind of still is very nerve-wracking doing this, especially those first few times. Once you've built some consistency on your platforms, whether that's Bookstagram, BookTok, BookTube, a personal blog, I recommend you start to shoot your shot and just reach out to publishers directly. That's how I've gotten some of my like favorite early copies, and it's just like, it's such a good feeling when you kind of like put yourself out there and you don't know what's gonna happen, and like the worst thing they can say is no, and they say yes. Or if they say nothing at all and the book like just ends up at your house and it's like yes but with a whisper. And not yet. To prep myself for this endeavor, right? And this was definitely an endeavor. I remember so clearly prepping to write all these emails. I went through my own bookshelves, I went through my Storygraph, and even my anticipated release list for, the rest of that year to see which publishers and imprints were responsible for the books that I love or the ones that I was most excited for. Then I made a note of which publishers came up the most often. For me, that's going to be Tor, it's going to be Orbit, Saga Press. I'm very much a fantasy girly. Also Berkeley, but Berkeley's a little different because they already have the influencer program. And that's where I started my research. I went to each publisher's website to find the right publicity or marketing contact for my genres or books or imprints. Depending on the publisher, and this is key, you either have to contact a specific generalized email address, different contact people for different books, or a singular person that handles like the influencer request. And I took all that information and I keep it in a note on my computer for easy access so I don't have to do the research all over again because it is definitely a task. And in these emails, I introduce myself and provide necessary information. I say who I am and what my platform is, aka Booking It with Atia, where I typically share reviews, and what kind of content that I create. I mention the specific books that I'm interested in, including their authors and release dates, just to make it easier for the person on the other side of the email. And I include a few quick examples of past reviews of books from their publishing house, links to my social media, and my engagement stats as well. I also, and this was a tip I got from, I don't remember who, but I think it's such a great tip. I also include my mailing address because if I'm sending an email, I'm usually asking for a physical copy, and you want to make the process as easy as possible for everyone involved. So by sending along my mailing address in my initial email, I have eliminated the need for this person to respond back and ask for my mailing address and then have to wait for me to then respond back to their reply. There's no need for all of that. Often, I don't even get a response to these emails, or I'll get like a generic automated response, but the books still show up because the people who are doing this, they don't, they're busy. We know that they're busy. So if it's an acceptance, then they don't necessarily need to reply like, okay, yes, like I'll send it out, da da da. Some do, and that's great, and that's awesome. But others just like put you on a list, put your information in, and then the book's on its way to you in a few weeks or a few months. And one little tip, right, for writing these emails, if there's more than one book from the same publisher that I'm interested in, I list them all in one email. There's absolutely no need to send separate messages to the same contact. It's easier for them and you, and it's way more respectful of everyone's time. Method number 4 is social media itself. I follow a ton of authors and publishers on Instagram and Threads, and every now and again, they'll post calls for ARC readers or ask people to help promote upcoming releases or be on street teams, things like that. And sometimes it's a post, sometimes it's in their stories. And if you're already engaging with their content, then you'll start seeing these opportunities pop up on your feed organically. This method is super easy. It's a low pressure way to start. And it's awesome because you're getting involved and you're also supporting the authors that you love while getting to read their books early. 2 quick bonus tips, not methods, but just like tips for when you inevitably get your early copy. I'm manifesting that for you. I'm putting that into the universe for you. Always tag the publishers, the PR companies, or Libra FM when you post about a book that you received from them, no matter the format, whether it's a finished copy, physical copy, e-arc, ALC. It lets them know that you're engaging with the work, whether it's a positive or negative review or just spotlight feature of the book or like a book haul, right? If you notice in my book hauls on Instagram especially, I tag the publishers because like I did receive them for free, and even if that is not a review, it is a spotlight or a highlight. It brings some attention to the book, so I always tag in the caption and also like on the actual post I tag them, and it lets them know that you are consistent and actually promoting their book, which is a form of publicity for them. 2 is stay professional and kind. Publishing is like a super small world, and this doesn't mean only posting positive reviews. Honesty is also key, and negative or critical feedback about a book can help both the author and the publisher in the long run. I'm not saying tag an author in a 1-star review because yikes, that's messy, but tag the publisher to thank them for the early copy of the book and to let them know that you have read it and you shared your thoughts. And thoughts are thoughts, publicity is publicity, and negative or critical reviews are also helpful as well because some people like the things that you may dislike and vice versa. And, don't get snippy with the contact person who hasn't reply to your book request or denies your request because you're not entitled at all to any of these books to receive early copies. This is a give and take relationship that reviewers and influencers have with the publishing world, And it takes time and effort to nurture that relationship. It's ongoing. You don't need a massive following to get started. I had maybe 200 subscribers on my booktube channel and less than 1,000 followers on my bookstagram when I got my first early copies. And I was so excited, and I was anticipating these releases, and I think I showed how excited I was in receiving them. And publishers and platforms are looking for passionate readers and consistent reviewers who show up for the books they love, and that's why we're here. So stay authentic, stay you, and keep reading. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up and share it with another bookish creator who's trying to get ARCs too, or just have some more ways of getting ARCs. And in the comments, tell me your favorite way to get review copies or which method you want to try next. Make sure to check out all of my socials, my bonfire, my Etsy. Make sure to check out my Instagram so you can actually kind of like see what I'm talking about in practice. My latest book hauls, you can see what I'm talking about in real time. If you want to further support the channel, you can become a Patreon member or a channel member. And I will see you in another video. Bye.
Weakness showing, I ain't living for the moment. I see what's mine and I want it. Hungry like a Pac-Man. I'm Bruce Wayne and Batman. I'm Naruto with a Hanzo. Got a sharp mind like I'm Einstein. Plus I'm copywriting, so it's all mine. Check it for me, I'm